There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune in to Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
You want to hear the song?
Yes.
I got a couple of things before we jump into this.
All right. You got her.
I think the boys are ready, Rook.
They're ready. That's good.
So, what was the needless adjective you guys were using there?
About what?
During GL?
Alcohol. The alcoholic.
Oh, Johnny Height had a story.
Hepatitis?
Alcoholic hepatitis.
Hepatitis. Alcohol. Okay. Well, that brought me up to morbidly obese.
That's right.
You don't like that term.
And sometimes it's extra morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Why are they going to throw in the extra?
Or the morbidly. I was thinking, so if somebody's like learning disabled, but marginally, you know,
Yeah.
but then somebody else's work, would it be okay to call them morbidly learning obese? I mean, morbidly learning disabled? No.
Boy, I don't think you would ever
Why
insult someone like
just
that.
for
No.
fat people, it's okay to
Right.
throw a morbidly at fat people, but everybody else, nobody else gets a morbidly, right?
I think chunky people, they
How
think.
about a guy with a bad leg? He's morbidly slow.
Right. What the hell is this?
He's got morbidly bad knees.
Yeah, right.
I think people think chunky people have thicker skin.
Yeah, well, they do.
Well, technically, yes, they do.
Not necessarily emotionally,
True.
because what's the name of the funny fat woman that?
Lisa
No,
Lampanelli?
no, the comedian.
Boy, we could really get in trouble here.
Megan, what's her name?
Oh, Melissa
Melissa
McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy, right?
I think it's McCarthy. Yeah, sounds right.
And
Paul's
I got banned.
cousin.
You know, and then she must have stapled her stomach or something. She lost some weight.
Yeah, she
right?
lost a lot of weight.
And I think she got it back. But but I said on my talk when I was on one time
Oh, yeah.
that she was funnier when she was fat, and I haven't been on since.
No,
'cause
haven't
a lot of
invited
very
you back there.
sensitive people got on there. So, you know. So anyway, and the other thing you were telling me about the city of St. Paul workers when didn't have a city yet, burning.
Yeah, they burned the logs from the original church.
Logs. And I immediately thought of my father leaving George Bruns at the Avoca Cemetery to dig the grave, and he went over and dug a different place because the ground was softer.
It was squishier.
That's right.
Which
That's
was
right.
so that reminded George would have been good at that. Damn, it's cold here, boys. Let's burn this wood here. He would have been perfect for that thing.
I got to read you an email.
Okay.
I listened to Sports Talk from last Monday, and I thought I would write you. My hometown, Chicago, also hired baseball players to play with them. Most notable was a pitcher by the name of Joe Kelly.
Yes.
His son, Tom, was born during Joe's time there. Joe's daytime job was working at the Standard Oil station in town. Chicago, rhymes with Ohio, had the first lights in the area, signed Keith. Is he talking about Tom Kelly, the manager?
Tom Kelly was born in the Graceville Hospital.
I'll be damned.
And so his hometown, I mean, not his hometown, but his place of birth. And Graceville is a little town next to Chocayo, where his dad played at Chocayo. Yes. Joe.
Where is Chicago in this state?
Way out west.
And
Kenny's
he
probably
threw it out there, too.
Kenny's probably not too far away from
The
Chocayo.
Chocayo Coyotes, by the way, great tall
Really?
ball team.
Really?
Yep, they
Okay.
usually have an appearance every other year in the state tournament. Yep.
Okay.
So that would have been the early 50s.
TK just turned 70, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Early 50s, I'm right.
Yeah, I think 51 is it. Yeah, as a matter of fact. So, yes, that's it. So,
By the way, Super 70 Sports with the tip of the cap to TK on the 30th anniversary
of Jack Morris.
of Game 7.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you bleep and manage. You stay out of the bleeping way.
Yeah,
Tom
love
Kelly's a legend, it said.
I wish Super 70 Sports wouldn't use so many. I don't mind the damn and the hell and the stuff like that, but they use the F-bomb in a
Every
lot of
time.
their,
I don't
they
get
use
it.
A lot of the,
Wait
so-
a minute. You two are
No,
offended by
no,
that?
no.
No, it's not offended.
You can't retweet it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Some of them are so good, but a lot. I would retweet a lot more of them if they were.
Oh, I think it makes it better when he throws it out there.
But then it's for your own enjoyment. You know?
Well, that'll get a good belly laugh out of you once in a while when you see one of their tweets, won't
Oh
it?
God, I love their I love their tweets, but it's that in that case it's I mean they're when they get the great old photos too, guys.
Oh, it's just
Did you see
fantastic.
Jim Dutcher? Jim
No.
Dutcher. They had one of him about a month ago, and he's coaching the Gophers, right? And he's got, but it's a picture of like with a couple of his players.
Okay.
But he got the big wide collar.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the-
Okay.
with the hat and like the brown,
Yeah,
brown knit
Yeah,
shirt,
right.
and it just
Right.
he said it's I'm sorry. Why don't coaches bleeping dress like they bleeping use when they look like a real
Look
coach?
like a coach. You get-
That's
that's a
right.
basketball coach
Yeah.
right there.
Nobody was dressed like that more than Norm Ellenberger when he was down at New Mexico, who was one of the great crooks and he's a great guy, but also he's the guy that Musselman when Musselman was down there for a tournament and they were these two guys came over and they were watching the third place game in this tournament and the two guys came over and were BSing with Norm about the fishing trip they had that summer and all this stuff and then he says, Bill, how much better do you think you are than us? And Bill said, I don't know. And he said, come on, Bill. He said, 10 points. He says, not enough. Those are the refs. And they got hosed, and he got thrown out in the first half and anything. So how did you watch any of the spectacle
Yes,
last
I did.
night?
What do you think of your football team?
Man, that was hard work.
They
That
weren't
was-
expressing urgency when they needed to.
No. You're going in for the lead touchdown, right? So you're going to put your team in a situation where a field goal can't beat them, right?
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
And they escort you down the field. The referees pick you up, put you on a little
Three personal foul
put you
calls.
up on a little chariot
Yep.
and take you
Here we
down to
go.
the 5-yard line or
Right.
4-yard line. None of which, Randy Gregory's had like 6 drug suspensions, so the league hates him, right? Mm-hmm. The hit on Cousins wasn't a personal foul. The one on the sideline was a little late, but not that much. And the other one, he was pulling a guy who was trying to push. Bradbury was trying to push his runner into the end zone, and he was pulling him off.
Right.
And the league hates the guy, so they could throw 3 flags. They put you down there on the goal line, you still don't score. It's unbelievable. I don't know. What were they trying to do?
Pat, I have a theory on Kirk Cousins. I'll share the G-rated version
All right, not
as
the,
opposed to the other version I shared
70
with
sports.
you earlier. Do you guys realize, I saw this stat, I can't remember who put it out there. It might have been Courtney Cronin, I can't remember exactly. Kirk Cousins, after the first drive of the game, had 1 pass attempt on 3rd down that was past the first down marker.
Yeah,
One.
I think
One.
Mackey counted 5 that were completed short of the first down mark.
What is he doing? He is so much more interested in his
But
personal
what
stats.
What patterns are we seeing? I mean, what
patterns are the
where
receivers running? Or
Yeah, where are there open receivers 15 yards down the field or not?
But don't you have to attempt one at
Yes.
some point?
Yes, you do.
What does this do for Zimmer yesterday?
I think he's done.
I can't believe he wasn't fired that
he's
night,
got to
in all
win out.
honesty.
He's got to win out.
Did you
He's
see
not.
that-
They're at Buffalo next.
I know.
No, they're at Baltimore.
I'm sorry, Baltimore.
They got
I'm
it.
sorry.
Ravens who are coming off their bye week, by the
Right.
way,
Yep.
and might have half their team back. They've had all these, and they got Lamar Jackson. But
Didn't we just come off our bye week?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Rob.
Yes. Yes.
these guys should have gotten a boat and had a party and had some
Yeah,
fun, man.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bad
Stuffiness and-
stuff.
yeah, right,
you know?
right.
Get
Let's go here.
Get some of that removed from you in a fun fashion or something.
Bring back Freddie Smoot for a little tutorial.
Yeah, right, that's right. But I just could not figure out. I've said this earlier today, Joe, but they script the plays, right?
Yeah.
And that's like 3 times they've come out with the scripted plays and gone down the field and scored a touchdown. They did it again. So why don't you bring back the script?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now the 3rd possession. Let's try those again.
Try
Let's
the
do it
script again.
Let's do it again.
Here, take a
It's
copy
like a
with you.
top 40 station. Play the hits.
Yes, that's right. You think KS95 would ever been the juggernaut it is if it never played the same song
Hell
12,
nah.
12 times a day? For
Hell
God's
nah.
sakes. Hell
Maybe
no.
that's what we should have done on AM 1500. We didn't play the
Follow
hits.
script. Well, we never found the successful script, but if we did, we
Right,
would have used
right.
the damn thing.
Over and over and over.
Yes, that's true.
But when you're just a casual fan and watching them, and you understand what's wrong.
Yes.
It doesn't take a genius to see these guys are not acting with urgency.
Yes, that's true. And Thielen, the Mankato State lad, he was pretty frontal with his quotes today about
Yes, he
how
was.
we're not trying to do anything. He was ripping the coach pretty directly.
You think it was Zimmer or was he ripping Kubiak?
Or Cousins. I don't know who he was ripping. He was ripping all 3 of them, I thought. But that was pretty frontal. Meanwhile, but I did like Kirk. Kirk basically threw Zim under the proverbial bus. He says, obviously he's been told not to call timeouts unless, because he said, I let Zim handle the timeouts at the end of the quarter, at the end of the half.
Which didn't make any sense.
Isn't that 2 home games in a row they've done that? And got the hell boot out of them
Yeah.
for not trying to complete
Was that a sellout?
30-yard. Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was telling Joe earlier, Pat, because I'm a guy
But
that
you could have
monitors.
found a ticket.
Easily. The secondary market for these guys, even going into that
Even
game,
the Cowboys?
not very good. Nope.
People said there were 10,000 Cowboy fans.
I'm going to tell you right now, coming from the airport, the amount of cowboy garb for flights from Newark, from Dallas,
Yeah,
it
they
was
come in from all over the
it was
country.
unbelievable. That because I was making mental note. I thought it was a Dallas flight. No, it was a New York flight, a Boston flight.
Wow.
The Dallas fans that came in for this game were unbelievably high.
But when you find out 45 minutes before the game that the MVP of the league is not going to play, and they're going to play some guy who has thrown 1 pass in the NFL, and by the way, we have previous experience with in Minnesota, because Reavers was there. Weren't you there for the Tracy Clay's Central Michigan game?
I was.
He
I had to
was
go
the
there to
quarterback.
chronicle the Quick Lane Bowl.
Cooper Rush was the quarterback.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush was 15 for 29 for 149 yards and was moving resolutely to tie the game. And then Bodie Calhoun intercepted a pass. But he lost to the 5-7 Gophers in the Quick Lane Bowl. He was the quarterback way back in 2015. And since then, he'd thrown 1 NFL pass.
Rook, do you remember the adjective that Patrick used to describe you when he learned about your son proposing? What he called you that day? That's what
Yes.
he used on me
Yes,
when
okay,
he
I
found
do
out I was
recall
going
that.
to the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit.
Driving to Detroit to spot players in the Quick Lane Bowl.
I sensed Patrick's sincerity and concern
Yes.
with the adjective that he called me. Yes, it was direct, but it meant something because he was passionate about it.
I won't say on a family show like this one why, if I'm your son, I don't want you there when I propose.
He's still bothered
I'm
by
not
this.
gonna say
I know he is. He's not
I'm
over
not
it.
gonna say it.
No, of course not.
He
'Cause
texted
I'm
me
not that kind of guy.
No, you're not.
3 days ago. I'm sitting in my house watching whatever it was, probably Dances with the Stars.
Yeah.
And I just get a text from him. Why? Why? And that's it. He didn't say anything more. So he's,
Why?
I'm kind of weaning himself. I'm weaning him off of that. It was just why, and I knew what he was talking about. It's just unbelievable.
Boys, you're right. Reavers particularly. When you're right, you're right. I'm a little premature in believing we got a cup team here.
Oh.
They,
You jinxed them.
I never should have gone cup after 2 wins to open the
Tommy
season.
Reed, what did Tommy Reed say to you not on this show, but on Garage
I
Logic?
can't remember what he said.
He said, "What are you doing, Such?"
Yeah, you got to. I'm never going to call him that again. Not this year until it becomes
let's
evident.
Get the commie to put the biscuit in the basket
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's a little troubling.
8 games he hadn't scored yet, and why are they afraid to put him and Fiala together? They're probably a little weak defensively.
Don't
but
know.
That's okay.
The weird scheduling continues. Home Tuesday, and then they don't play again until Saturday.
Now they'll
Home
get
Tuesday
they
to
should
Ottawa.
They should get cured Tuesday because Ottawa is
Yeah, they
terrible.
stinks.
Have you been looking at the Ottawa crowds, Joe? You always look at the
Yes,
crowds.
I do, and they're not much.
Last time I looked, there was 7,000
Really?
in Ottawa.
And then they go to Pittsburgh Saturday. And the next day, Sunday, home to the island when they're already out there.
Yeah, that's
stupid.
goofy. The Island is a lot of people think they could win the cup.
Are they in the new building yet? The Island?
This is the Zach homecoming, right? Isn't he?
Oh,
with the
yeah,
Island?
that's right,
Zach's
yes.
with the Island. Yeah. So that's that'll be.
Where did Suter end up?
He's with Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's with Dallas, but it's a crapshoot, you know.
Hot goalie. That's what you got to get.
Got to get the hot goalie. Got the hot goalie. And
Pat, how are we going to fix baseball? Joe did
I had a long discussion today, and I have been a mortal enemy of the electronic strike zone, but I think it's our only chance. That and a actually enforced 20-second clock.
and stay
for the
in the
pitching.
box, which you are supposed to
You
do.
have
It's
to-
already
well,
a rule.
No, it's a 20-second. You can go take a walk, but if the guy throws a pitch
It's a strike.
during those
Yep.
20 seconds, it's an automatic strike, even if it's 5 feet outside the strike zone.
Which is a bold move and probably guaranteeing that you're going to get hit next time you're in the batter's box. But other than that,
Pitching ideology has to change too.
Yes,
You're basically it's a series of relief pitchers.
yes. Well,
The
that's
starter
true.
is
Yes,
is
it's
no
meaning.
longer in the cultural
And
landscape.
one of the great. Why do we remember the 1991 World Series?
Because it was gritty.
Morris versus Smoltz.
Yep.
That's why we remember it.
yes.
And TK saying, that's just a game.
Yeah, right. It's the problem is nobody will swing the bat until they get the pitch they want, and every pitch is science, Joe. Nobody gets the pitch back. I love Bailey Ober, right? Mm-hmm. The new Twins pitcher, and also this Joe, whatever his name is, because they get the ball back.
And they're ready to go.
And they're ready. Well, they throw it, but you know damn well if they would ever get to this point, they'd be, they'd come out and have a meeting, and you got to throw that breaking ball on the corner. I saw something that 60% of the pitches being thrown in the World Series are breaking balls,
Really?
something like that.
Wow.
Usually it's 40. But it's. I don't know what they're.
Well,
4
everything
hours
you're
of-
saying is contributing to 4-hour games.
Last night, I was told this, I'd have to check, but I believe it. The third inning and the second quarter lasted the same amount of time.
Wow.
The third inning and the second quarter.
Of the football
Yes.
game.
Wow.
Wow.
And this I can confirm, but because I was watching the game, both games,
At the same time.
virtually by when a pitch was thrown, I'd click.
Yep.
And I'd have 35 seconds.
Yep.
At least. And if you miss something, if something happened, you can back it up,
He's talking about the science of throwing pitches. He's
Yeah,
the science of the remote.
Science of you got 35 seconds between pitches. You get back, you see the play, you go back, see if there might be
Right,
remotely
right.
ready to throw a pitch.
I was doing almost the same thing because I had the football game on my phone
Mm-hmm.
while I was watching the World Series game. You're just going up. Yeah, same thing.
Well,
It's
the
a
other-
shame.
Saturday, this is true. I couldn't. This was one that was a mere 354, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday.
A mere 350.
I went upstairs. I was downstairs watching a game. It was like the third inning. And I went upstairs and I said, "You got anything to watch? You watching anything?"
Come to this. Did
And
she
we got. I said, "You got."
stare
You
at you
wanna watch?" I
blankly?
couldn't take it anymore. So there's this masterpiece series called Endeavor on PBS that we got. You can go back, And when you look at them, you can see whether you watched them or not, right? So I said, let's go back and see, because I like that series. So I said, let's go back and see if we missed any. And we found a whole nest of them in year 2. So I watch an hour-and-a-half episode of Endeavor and go down, and it's the bottom of the 6th. You know, something like that.
It's something wrong here.
they're-
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah, you're absolutely. I don't
So-
know. They're not going to be the 5th or 6th most popular sport in America. Shortly.
How are the television ratings for this series?
Terrible.
I'm sure they're horrible.
They're awful.
I'm sure they're horrible.
Saturday night, we took the boys to the Mankato hockey game. Started at 6. I think it was a 6:05 puck drop.
Yes, right.
We stayed for almost the entire hockey game. We were staying at the hotel right across from it's the Mayo Square Civic Center
Yes.
now. We got up to our room, and it was in the 3rd inning.
You watched the hockey.
The entire hockey game.
Yes.
And we got up to our room, because I had the TV was still on when we got back up, and I said, it's in the 3rd inning?
Yeah. And you know what? Joe Buck and Smoltz have been trained not to complain about it. But you know, as soon as the
Oh, it's
inning
gotta drive
break-
them both
as
insane.
As soon as the inning breaks, they got to be saying,
Let's go here.
I want to
Well,
get out of here.
Schmaltz was the one who's led me to this belief that starting pitching doesn't exist anymore. He was comparing his own career to what he's seeing now, and it's driving him crazy.
yes, yeah, it is. And this whole, it used to be you don't want to let him go through the batting order for the 3rd time. Now now you don't want a guy to face somebody second. Joe, the philosophy obviously is way over the top in the postseason of not letting anybody get in trouble and get out of it. But I think the American League had 5 300 hitters this year.
Oh, yeah, we were going through weren't we
I
going
think
through
the
those?
6th hitter in the American League hit 296 or something. It's they all just sit there and wait to hit a ball out of the park. The game is eating itself. This is not murder. This is suicide right here. This is I don't know what they're going to do. It's the shortest, I believe, has been 3:15. One was 3:15. First one was 4:06. Last night was 4, and then there's a 3:30 something or 3:27 or something, and then there's a
Plus
3:45.
World Series commercial breaks are longer.
Well, yeah, they had a minute.
Yeah.
They had at least a minute between each game.
I have the entire statistics in front of me for Major League Baseball. There were 13 batters that finished, qualified batters
hit
that
300.
finished above 300. 13.
In both leagues.
In both leagues. 13.
What do we do now?
I got hope for Houston, though. I think they could.
We go Houston, Atlanta, Houston.
No.
No,
The last 2 are in Houston.
Houston. They're back in Houston now.
Yep.
Yeah. They.
It's
I always just want 7 games just because I want a good series.
Not anymore.
I
Get it
don't
over
even
with.
know if I.
so it's 3-2 Atlanta, and the final 2 are in Houston.
Houston,
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
And they're, the Minnesota Twins were in the same predicament twice and won them
true.
both at home.
True.
I can't cheer for the Stros, though. I just can't do it.
Why? Oh, hell. that
No, I
garbage
can't do
can,
it.
It was all crap. It was all crap.
You can't say that.
That was,
Pat, you could hear them banging on the
I
damn
know,
thing.
so what?
Was the guy inside the garbage can?
No.
It was Oscar. Oscar the
Was it
Grouch.
Oscar?
Oscar was in there. Whatever.
Most overrated scandal in history.
I gotta
Oscar
find
the
that
Grouch?
soundbite.
Most overrated scandal in history.
And what was it again? Refresh my memory. They were stealing signs.
If fastball was coming, they'd beat on a garbage can or something like that. And supposedly Altuve had a buzzer on him too, but I don't believe that.
But the odds that you're going to be
buzzer.
the odds you're going to be throwing a fastball.
Yeah,
You'd have to go back and see if he's twitching before the pitch is delivered or not.
But the odds that you're going to get a fastball are what? 33%?
now, not much. It keeps getting less and less and less. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't understand though the steal signs.
I don't.
thing.
Here's my solution. Somebody asked me, "What are you going to do?" Nobody with a college education can work in baseball.
Okay.
That's my, if you cannot work in a front office
If you went to an Ivy League school.
If you went to JUCO, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Mankato.
Mankato, yeah, throw us in there.
Yeah.
Give us a
State
bone.
Teachers College
Yes.
in Wisconsin or Minnesota. That's fine. But if you went to some place called Haverford, you're fired.
Here's Pat's hiring process. Let me see your resume. Too long. Get out of here.
Qualified.
Good.
Yeah.
Too good.
Too complicated.
You had a 3.8 at Haverford. Take a hike.
Goodbye.
Buddy. Take a hike. You don't belong in baseball. Why aren't you trying to figure out, other things, social problems or something? I don't know. It's we got to do something. I don't know. I can't. It's driving me nuts because when I can't watch it, I covered 24 straight World Series. I covered 25 total. And I wouldn't go now if you begged me, because how can you're going to be there at 3 a.m. trying to write something.
You can't
for
beat
the
it. You
internet.
can't make a deadline.
No, and there's no access if you do,
You're relying heavy on your 10th ad, I think.
Yeah,
is what you're-
that's right. The 10th ad is
It feels like that
I
sometimes,
got it
doesn't
now.
it?
I got it now. I know how to do it now. It took me about 2 years, but I got it.
Wasn't it your first ball game? Weren't you going to go back to the paper?
Yeah.
And then,
Didn't get a lot of
like
direction
me going
back
to
then.
the press box, just going like this, looking around.
Meanwhile, PJ's going to the Rose Bowl.
Come on.
Well, the second, I don't think the Rose Bowl's in the playoff this year, are they?
I don't know. I can look it up.
I don't think they are. So if you win the West and lose to Ohio State,
And they'll go to the
don't go
Final
to the playoff,
Four.
then
Yeah.
you go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's a
then
good
you
point.
go to the Rose Bowl, and the Gopher volleyball team beat mighty Nebraska, and the Loons, big win there to get in the playoffs. So it hasn't been all bad this weekend. The Viking thing kind of overshadows things to some degree. People get a little upset.
There's nothing more festive, too, than seeing Twitter after a night Vikings disappointment. That's always a good time. That's always a pretty good
now,
time.
you told me that a rival sports station had a post-game. So they do about a half hour of Greg Coleman making excuses in interviews, right?
Right.
40 minutes. And then they went to the post-game. So were you at the game, by the way?
No.
Okay.
We were trick-or-treating with the
But you
lads.
listened to it just knowing
Well,
that
I
it
go
would
to the
be precious.
Patrick Royce School of Broadcasting where when there's a really, really disappointing Vikings loss, my first thought is I have to listen to the postgame
Oh,
show.
me too. Me too. I love that.
And so I had it on. I had the radio on in the garage, and I had that fired up, and it was. Well, every caller that called in was intoxicated.
Yes.
And everybody was mad at everything. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. I disappointed myself because I had a plan. I was coming back from Woodbury. Went out and saw the Halloweeners before they went out. And I was going to drive by and see if I could find any tailgaters at 1:30 in the afternoon. But I said,
I was at a Quick
I don't
Trip.
want to talk to people who are drunk already.
I was at a Quick Trip in Belle Plaine. We were coming back from Mankato yesterday morning, and we stopped at, I don't know, maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock to get our fuel. And there was a van heading downtown with all the Viking garb on. And that was about between 1:30 and 2 o'clock yesterday. So they were ready to go.
Rose Bowl is not.
Part of the Final Four.
Correct. So the Western Conference, the Western Division winner will go to the Rose
What
Bowl.
happened to the Hawkeyes, by the way? Iowa.
Offense, the quarterback isn't very good.
No, he isn't
And,
good.
Wisconsin's got a very good defense. You know where this Chanel guy's from, this linebacker? Grantsburg, which is what?
Bud Grant's cabin territory.
Yeah, he's from right up here.
Right there.
He's an All-American killer. He's from Grantsburg, right up by Bud. But by the way, we had the Sid thing at Dunkers, right? Did I tell you about that?
The what now?
They had a Sid a year later thing at Dunkers.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been at Dunkers.
Right.
And they had me and Mona and Bobby Hagan from the Vikings. And
Bobby.
Eric Eskel was the moderator and Jeff Day from our paper. But Bud showed up. Bud showed up and went on for about 10 minutes. But then Bud called me over with the rule changes he wants to make the NFL a little more entertaining. Number one, he wants to get the kickoff back. And I told him that ain't happening because they don't want them smacking into each other on a kickoff. But he had one very good idea. Instead of the kneel down, right, at the end of you have to gain a yard. You have to gain a yard or the clock stops. It's not, you don't have to give up the ball. Yes.
I like that a lot.
You have to gain one so you don't get, he says people sit there all for 3 hours. And then you get the last 10 minutes, and you get the last 2 minutes, and if some teams can kill all this time, you get to watch them kneel down twice.
Can I add one? Much in the same vein as Joe wanting to fine John Lester $250,000 because he can't throw it to first base to pick off a guy.
Yes.
Here's what I want to add to Bud, because I love that idea from Bud. If you are losing a game and your quarterback on third down doesn't throw it past the first down marker, you are fined $1 million.
$1 million? Okay.
You got to be aware. You got to be
Cousins
aware.
can afford that.
I think more people are blaming Zim and the offensive philosophy than they're blaming Cousins.
You think
today.
so?
I think Zim's in trouble.
But if he's gone, Spielman has to join him. I mean, Spielman can't be on his third coach. Come on.
No, Spielman's
You're kidding me.
Spielman's a slick guy. He is.
He's got the Wilf endorsement.
Such was a witness to this. Howard Fox was Calvin's guy. Right. Such wrote he put the men on the pillow when he went to bed at night.
I don't think Howard liked that line.
No.
But I love it.
And Yvonne probably didn't like it either, because Yvonne would get a little offended when you took a cheap shot at Howard, which I did on occasion. But all of a sudden, in the summer of '84, you would see Carl Pohlad walking around, before anything was official, and Howard was never more than 18 inches removed from him.
Right.
And Calvin couldn't have found him with a search party.
Right.
So that's
Is Howard
that.
still with us?
No, Howard died.
I've told you many times my
8-9
favorite
years
Howard
ago.
Fox story, where my trash guy Frank Domaris
Oh yeah, the tickets.
had the tickets taped to the garbage can lid, and Frank took his kid to the game. There were perfect seats, and Howard was sitting right in front of him in the box down there, and turned around and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And Howard was glad-handed, and he turns to Frank and he says, "Season ticket holder?" And Frank said, "Nope, found them on my garbage route. They were taped to the lid of a can."
And they were like second
That
row,
made
right?
Sports Illustrated.
That really?
Because remember they had little shorts in the back of weird stuff? That made it to Sports
You're
Illustrated.
kidding me.
No.
Did you write it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the second. He was like in the second row. Too,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Taped
So
to
whoever
my
gave him
garbage
these
can.
tickets had the really great seats.
Oh, that's
That had
fantastic.
to be a shot, man.
Found him
right
taped
there.
to a garbage can lid.
Yeah, well, it was quite a loss. That's something. It just that
Winnable.
the town back in the Bud era, right, when they were going to Super Bowls, it was a depression with much less anger. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, now I
was-
think it's not depression, it's just anger.
It's just yes, it is. It's the whole society.
But I also
obviously.
think part of
Not
it
worth
is,
getting depressed about.
but part of it is too, is I think so many people had it built up. I mean, Rook and it was a festive night. It was going to be,
Let's go here.
and I think that's a big part of it too. Was everyone also just like they had the chance to really grab hold of this town again?
And we believed, the people believed in Bud and the infallibility of the defense, and then when they even a routine loss that made them 12-2, people would be moping about. Now it's just
Fire everybody.
get rid of them all, get rid of Zim.
The Ziggy
Zim knows-
texting though was during the
Zim
game
on the
was great.
sideline though, he knows it's coming.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I look at him.
Does he still have 1 year left on his deal, Zim?
They gave him a 3-year contract. Just kicked in this spring. I mean this
Oh
year.
wow, I thought they did that after.
No, but I think he got it before last year. He got a 3-year. He had 1 year left, and they got a 3-year extension. I think.
Okay.
What are they now?
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Joe, the thing about it is there's 10 games left.
Right.
There's 10
Well, look
games,
at their schedule too.
But you
Oof.
get 7 teams in now instead of 6.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's 10 games left. And even if they lose the next 2, they get to play Detroit again. They get to
Right.
play the Bears twice.
Nurse your wounds.
The schedule gets very easy. How about Detroit?
Oh,
Mark Craig, who I love, he's our football professor at the Star Tribune, the wise old owl.
I got a thing. You guys keep going.
Oh, okay.
I got a thing.
Good. I know you got a thing.
You got any comments on Detroit?
No, that I feel for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's just a little like 1957 to now. What is that? That's
57.
43, 60. That's just a little 63 4-year slump. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
in line. But
43, 63.
so anyway, the wise old owl, he does the predictions, and his upset special was the Lions over the Eagles.
Which could have been believable.
40,
they've been
40,
close in a couple of games. They almost beat us.
The Eagles aren't very good.
No, the Eagles stink.
And so I said it's not a reflection on his football acumen, which is unquestioned. It's just his kindred spirit towards people who are suffering, that caused this hopeful prediction that was what it was.
It's rookie.
20-0 immediately,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
You know who you feel bad for?
Just got ejected from game 124 or 5 in a row
by
for
the way,
standing and cheering at the end of the third quarter while we're on defense.
you know what that guy is? 124 games in a row, Lions.
Yeah.
He's morbidly stupid.
Morbidly stupid. Morbidly stupid.
Morbidly
That
stupid.
is Detroit Dan and Superfan.
I wonder if Detroit Dan and Superfan are still going, or if they gave up on
you
him.
know God well.
Once
that
he
they
sobered
are.
up, he forgot all about it.
Who do they got on Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's a good. I think it's a division game this year.
Maybe the Bears. They could beat them.
Let's see. Lions schedule. Oh, they are. I don't think they're going to win a game, to be honest.
Which
with you.
would mean the record they hold for being 0-16 would be 0-17.
They are hosting the Chicago Bears at 11:30 in the morning.
That could be the win. There's nothing quite as fun as being in Detroit for a Thanksgiving game when they stink.
Oh,
I was there with Burnsy's boys. I think it was Thanksgiving, and they had, because we got to fly on the charter home. They let us fly on the charter home.
okay.
The Lions had 60 yards of total offense.
Oh, my God.
And the game took like 2 hours and 40 minutes because the Vikings just ran.
Ran the ball.
Once they knew the other team couldn't get a first down, they just ran it out. Hell, we were back on a plane at 5:30 in the afternoon. And
How about this? I'm looking at their schedule for the Detroit Lions. They go to Pittsburgh.
which is winning. They're not great, but winning a few.
They go to Cleveland.
Yeah, they'll lose that one.
I think they must have their bye week this week then.
Oh, good.
They host the Bears for Thanksgiving. Then we go there on December 5th. Then they go to Denver, which they might be able to do. Denver's not very good. Then they host the Cardinals. They go to Atlanta. They go to Seattle, and then they wrap her up with a home game against the Packers. Ooh. They might have another 0 for 17.
Well, yeah, it's unbelievable the consistency with which they stink. See, we like to say the Timberwolves have to be the worst organization in sports, but not as long as the Lions are around.
Oh, the Lions are by
Lions
far
are-
Because the Lions' ineptitude predates the Timberwolves by 33 years, for goodness sakes. You know,
Think about that, though. They're just...
Well, they've won 2 playoff games since 1957.
And I remember the optimism when they were in the playoffs. They're like, oh, this is a really good Detroit team. Mm-hmm. The curse is broken. The monkey is off the back. And then they lose the next
when they were picking, we've talked about this before, but when they were picking things up a little in the 70s, Billy Sims blew out his knee
at the Dome, right?
So it had to be in the 80s.
Yeah.
At the Dome. Took a bad step at the Dome, never played again. And he was like the he was a bigger version of Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, yeah.
So, but they managed to They managed to accomplish nothing with Barry Sanders, who might be the greatest running back ever.
Did they even? Well, yeah, that's right. They lost to the Redskins in the NFC Championship
he's the
game.
one who won a playoff game for him.
Yeah.
And I think Sims
They
might have
beat
won
Dallas, I think, right? In the division round?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
I
beat
always
Dallas.
felt bad for Wayne. I just,
Well,
when you saw him on the sidelines, you felt bad
Wayne,
for him.
by their standards, was a
god.
he was like
He's Bud Grant.
He was like 42%, which is less better than, they got a guy. In this century, they went 0-16, right? Marinelli, and now they could go 0-17.
Wow.
You know who I miss at times like this? Our old regular guest, Rob Parker.
Oh, my God. He was fantastic.
Even when Rob was a sports columnist in Detroit,
Okay.
and then he became a radio guy in Detroit.
He now
Then
works for Fox Sports
Radio. Then he moved
Radio.
out to
Yeah.
L.A. He was wasn't he the original partner of
Chris Broussard.
No, but he was the original partner with Mary. Was he with?
Oh, you're thinking of Pardon the Interruption? Is that what you're thinking?
No, with the guy. He was the guy making all the money. Who's
Skip
Dave
Bayless?
Portnoy?
huh?
Skip?
Skip.
Oh.
Wasn't he with Skip? He originally was the arguer with Skip. I
Oh,
think.
maybe. I don't
I
remember.
think.
I don't remember.
But he's out in L.A. But whenever they were getting ready to,
He was an
because I know
antagonist?
him from way back. He's
But
a
the
great
best,
guy.
Rook, was when we'd have him on, and Royce would try to somehow make a positive comment. He'd be, oh, Royce, come on. We're not going to win.
Yeah, you always call me Ricey. Ricey, they're the Lions. They're horrible.
Oh, it
they're
was
always
just
going to
great.
be horrible.
It was guys like him and Ratto, and we'd have them on. I thought, my God, Pat's tame compared to these guys.
And Ratto's now writing for The Defector.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is it's basically the guys who left the Deadspin.
Okay.
Because Deadspin got too soft and political. So.
Yeah.
But Ratto's writing for them.
God, he's so funny. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he's the best guy. He's the best columnist of all time because he's freaking hilarious.
Yes, he is.
But the thing about him is, and I do a little of this myself, not as much as I used to because you're not allowed to bellow in the press boxes anymore. But he used to basically give you a preview of what he was going to write. He'd kind of run it, be smart ass remark that he would blurt out in the 49ers press box or the Giants press box and see how it went over.
A little trial balloon.
Here's what you need to know about Ratto, Rook. He was covering an NBA Finals, I believe, in which the Spurs had lost a tough game. And so he went to Greg Popovich's press conference, and Popovich, knowing who he was, eviscerated him in an answer. And then Ratto followed that with,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
They must have been playing the Warriors or something.
Something like that. I can't remember who there. It was. There was. Maybe that's what it was. It might have been a playoff series.
So speaking of
funny.
the NBA, I went to the first half on Saturday night.
Of the Wolves, yeah.
Wolves game.
Wow.
They looked really, first quarter was great. They had a pretty good crowd. The place was going really loud when they love Edwards, and he had a couple of dunks on a break, and Jokic didn't score in the first quarter, and they were up 10 or 11. And then the rest of the game, Jokic gets outplayed Cat something terrible, and the Timberwolves couldn't make a shot. But I had to leave at halftime. I've told this story before today, but because when they got the press area stuck in the corner down there behind one goal, and our seats are low enough that you got to look through the bench. And Naz Reid and his pals are always standing up.
Oh, you can't see.
You can't see through them. If we would have had Sid, now I know the number one reason I'm upset that Sid died is because Sid would have said, "Tell that guy to sit down," and they would have intimidated somebody there. I couldn't see the game. I might as well go home. I went home and watched it on television.
Back.
Yeah. Anyway, but they can't shoot, so that's too bad. But I still think they're going to make the top 10.
Sure.
I
which
thought
is
when they
all
turned
it
it
takes.
around, beating the Bucks, this was going to be
But the
year.
Bucks are missing.
They're missing
three
Drew
of
Holiday.
three of their regulars, 3 of their starters, and last night Chris Middleton didn't play either, so they're missing.
That's why you're here to tell me stuff like that, because I don't closely follow the team. Not quite as close as I probably
Name
should.
that Timberwolf featuring rookie.
Yes. What was our? We did that with
the Lynx. Didn't we do that with the Lynx?
No, I don't think we did that with women because we didn't want to get in trouble. But I think I know we did it with Name That Ottawa Senator.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes.
Name That Ottawa Senator. Because they were having a good season and something, and I was talking about how the NHL has all these.
Name That Ottawa
Senator. And Manny named somebody.
Yeah,
Manny, who
Manny
knows
Hill.
everything, named somebody who retired like 6 years earlier. That was it. We were not good. And now here they are.
They're coming to town.
They're here. Name That Ottawa Senator. So.
Well, in order to play that, I would have to say I cannot.
Well, the mayor is off to the bank, and this was Monday Night Sports Talk. And
we don't even need them. Remember those days? We don't even need them.
Who needs them?
Who needs them? Who needs them? Come on, we're going to the bank.
Yeah, it is still kind of fun now that somebody stumbles across this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll get a email or something, some kind of a message saying, "You guys didn't talk hardly any sports. What the hell's the deal?"
Is this your first time doing
You don't get it, do you?
Yes. Yep. All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
Next week, baby.
EcoFun has e-bikes in stock. And why is that important? Because every other bike retailer is out of stock and will not be getting new e-bikes until December or January. You can't even get one for Christmas from them. The weather is warming up, so if you are in the market for an e-bike, scooter, or ATV, go to EcoFun right now. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Talk with Tim Bloom, the owner of EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Tim and his family will help you select the e-bike that is right for you, and they will deliver it to your front door in the metro area. Right now, EcoFun has Bentelli e-bikes and Yamaha Motor Assist bikes in stock. EcoFun also carries the full line of Yamaha scooters, motorcycles, and a wide variety of Yamaha ATVs, including ATVs for kids. Check out EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake and online at ecofunmotorsports.com and tell Tim that old bicycler Patrick Racy sent you.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here once again for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. And as you've been hearing over the course of the last couple of months, Josh asks you one simple question, and that's always, do you know what you own? You see, Josh's clients, they always know what they own, and Josh has found that most people that he meets with every single day, well, they don't. They absolutely have no idea. Josh has also seen retirement portfolios that have a big percentage in bonds, and there are real instances of people paying more in commissions and fees than they can possibly make on the rate of return that those bonds currently yield. So Josh begs of you, know what you own. And you'll hear from Mr. Money Talk later today here in Garage Logic to give you a specialized report on the goings-on in the market today. Trust is often overused, and it's even harder to find. Please, you can take it from me that you can trust Josh. So give him a call today for that free 48-minute financial consultation, and you do so by calling 952-925-5608. Once again, that's 952-925-5608 for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold.
This is Patrick Racy for The Canopy Group. Your kids are back in school, and when they get home, they do their homework, or they're supposed to do their homework. Why don't you do your homework? You have been with that same home and auto insurance company that has only one agent who represents only one insurance company for years. You deserve options. Let's face it, your insurance needs change as the years go by. Insurance companies' rates certainly change as the years go by. That is why the Canopy Group provides you with 16 options, not 16. Don't tell your kids, but you can outsource your homework to the Canopy Group. They will teach you how they find the best insurance coverage for the best price, not only today, but each and every year. Contact the Canopy Group at 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com and let them do the homework for you.